feel so much more comfortable. For all you guys in Minnesota, you know how I was struggling with the flat and the mics stick in the thing, and if I had notes, I couldn't put them down. I was struggling. You know, so, but now we're back. Now we're back to normal. I like this. I'm fired up. You know, you're very comfortable. You know, you want to be comfortable. No, I don't know about that. I can't play, but.
Glad to get your two suspended. Can you talk about getting them back?
Did I talk to?
No, I'm just saying your reaction that they're back on the practice.
Oh yeah, they're back and we're ready to go, and we got to focus on getting ourselves ready for Atlanta. You know, that's pretty much we got. I know I have a lot going on. I have, trying to get ready for Atlanta and, trying to make decisions and be able to write guys up and, be able to get this team ready, for this week and plans for next week, I mean, so a lot of that stuff's going on, for me personally right now.
You said after the game on Saturday that you thought Linder would be okay. He's not going to practice today. Is there any concern that it will be?
No, I just think he's sore, and I think we're going to be smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to rush back, push back, we'll see how he is day to day, but I'm going to make sure, like I would with any other player. I'm just not going to do anything stupid.
Did you meet specifically with Ramsey and Fowler this morning?
I mean, I meet with a lot of players. I really do. I meet with players all the time. I talk to all the players, and it's the same thing. I mean, I meet with them. I talk to them. But, I'm the same way. I'm going to keep those conversations private and keep moving along.
Do you expect more from Cam Robinson than what you got on Saturday? It seemed like.
Yeah, I think Cam would be the first one to tell you. I mean, Cam would say, hey, listen, he's got to do a better job. I think he understands that, and we're working, towards that goal, to be more consistent and to do a better job.
Is it a footwork issue, or is there any sort of other technique that, as an offensive line coach?
I just think overall, really, when you look at it, I mean, sometimes you could have poor footwork, good hands, and win the block. Sometimes you could have poor hands, good footwork, and win a block. So I think it's, there's a lot of different things that go into it. The mindset prior to, how you're going to set somebody up and what you're going to do. So there's a lot of things that go into it. So we'll do whatever we can, obviously, to make sure that he kind of gets out of it.
What did you see from Ronnie Harrison on tape?
Well, it was good. Like I said before, I think, as a former player, when you go to bed the night before a game, you kind of have in your mind what's going to happen. So if you like to say, hey, everyone's got to have the mindset that when they come to the stadium, they're going. They're going to be starting right off the bat. Yeah, that's your goal, but reality, I think that's something that doesn't happen. And I think that all of a sudden you show up there and you're like, hey, we just threw you a curveball. You're ready to go. You're out there. Now you have a short amount of time to go and get ready. Maybe that's good. Maybe like you don't put that much thought into it. Maybe the night before you put so much thought into it, you create a greater anxiety. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. But he went out there, good hits, jarred the ball loose, played extremely well. Probably everything that we were looking for, when we drafted him. And is there room to improve? Of course there is. There always is. But I thought he did a nice job from how he handled himself, the calls, what he was doing. He did a good job.
TJ,
You need a pen? You all right?
No, I'm good.
Oh.
Just want to make sure
I don't know. You're like, then I saw the pen, and I'm like, well.
No. If the league reached out to you about the helmet rule, now that
it's a big if.
It's a big
First of all, the league's not going to ask me.
But if they did, where do you think it's at? Are there any tweaks you'd like
This
to
is what
see?
I really feel, and I'll say it again. I don't think for how I feel, I do have strong opinions. I do. But I really feel, and I'm being honest, that I want to, if I have strong opinions, I'll call the league, or I'll write the league, or I'll call the, I think that's really the fair way. No different than if they had a problem with something I'd say, I would hope they call me first rather than, putting it out there into the media. So, I do have some thoughts. Those thoughts will be conveyed, and I don't know, what'll happen after that, but I am going to be a little assertive on this end and try to get something.
As a teacher of the game, how hard is it to try and teach this when it seems like good plays are being penalized?
Well, I think for me, I think I have a really good understanding of what we don't want. You know what I'm saying? I think everyone knows we don't want anyone with their helmet down coming in and hitting any part of someone's body, right? I mean, you know, for lack of a better term, the spear block, you know, or spearing, you know, which we kind of go. So I understand that. You know, how it gets officiated, I think this. I've said this before. When I was at Syracuse and we were in the Big East Conference, okay, they would have an officials kind of like 3-day meeting deal. All the head coaches were invited. And I went to, had it in Rhode Island, so I went to Rhode Island, went to the conference, and sat in on their meetings. And it changed my whole perspective of how I looked at officials. In other words, I always respected them, but I never realized how hard they are on themselves, you know, to get the calls right, or if they don't get the calls, how hard it is. So that really, you know, kind of popped it up. Then the other thing, I started to look at things in real time. And when I started looking at things in real time, I was like, "Ooh, that's, you know, there's an indecision, you know." For me, I can't speak for them. For me, I'm like, you know, it's a whole lot tougher than what people think, that the job that they have to do. I have a ton of respect for it because it's, I mean, things happen bang, bang, you know, and I'm not sure. But then I have the clicker the next day, and I can go back in, and I can slow it down, you know, and fans can see it on the scoreboard, or an ex-official can comment on it, you know, and that's a tough job that they have. It really is.
How do you teach? I mean, the sack on Blake, where the guy sacked him and his body weight, it would call for a penalty. How do you?
Well, aren't the officials available after the game?
No. Not unless there's something
The
really
pool.
controversial.
Yeah. I think you could ask them.
How do you teach?
Well, no, I think when you hit the quarterback, it's very simple in the rule book. When you hit the quarterback, as you hit him, once you're going down with him, you've got to show that you're trying to go to the side and not put your full weight on him. That's what the rule says. What? Look, see, that's what I don't want. You know, I tell him what we're doing, then you make a face at me like I didn't make the rule. I know, but you could go down and Park Avenue, the pool reporters, you know, get on them. Shoot, I'm trying to coach.
Do you like the fact that they might be calling things much tighter in the preseason than they would in the regular season? Does that help in any way?
I think in some things it does. I think it just shows, you know, hey, this is going to be a point of emphasis, and it creates greater awareness, I guess, you know what I'm saying, for it. As long as it's truly a foul, you're not going to want to call things that aren't fouls and just throw flags to throw flags. I think that's been normal everywhere I've been, college, NFL, as a player. I don't see a problem with that.
So you guys made it as far as you did last year. How challenging is it to become a team that's there most years? To go from, you know, having one good run to having 3 out of 4, 5 out of 7, that sort of thing?
I'm just trying to do the best job I can today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said before, I don't want to get pulled back there. I think there's lessons that you learn, you know, how hard you work. You know, and a lot of it is dealing with, you know, distractions is one, staying focused as a team, being close as a team, trusting one another. But you still, at the end of the day, you've got to go out there and perform, but the dynamics have switched, you know, whether you just, you know, add one thing or another. I should have bought I got these 2 balls, right, that I use as a good example of something, all right? They look the same. If you grabbed them, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But there is just one element, okay, that's not in one of them. And when you drop them, okay, one bounces up, the other one hits the ground and stays. And the point is that just if you're off a little bit, okay, it can truly change what happens. So, you know, you're constantly trying to get the 2018 team, you know, close and right, and the foundation stuff as we go forward, all right, to give us the chance. Because I think a lot of times, sometimes if you don't do things right and your foundation's not right, you go out there on Sunday, you really don't have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But if you have it right and you're doing all the right things, all you're doing is giving yourself an opportunity to win games, and that's all we can do.
What's the difference between the 2 balls? Sorry.
What's that?
What is the
It's a
one
chemical element. I'd have to go back to my chemistry class and do it, but I'll bring it out. I have them in my office. I do it for me. I use it for me. Yeah, I'm a visual guy, so I'll have things around my desk. If I feel myself going in a different direction, I'll look at one of those things and hope and bring myself back to focus. You know, that's just one of the things with me. I've got, you know, I have a lot of issues, but I don't have a lot of things. I have a lot of issues, so I just take a couple of things. You know, if I had a thing for every issue I had, my office would be packed with stuff.
A question about game planning this week compared to the first 2 weeks of the preseason. How much does your meeting schedule change this week? How much game planning do you actually do?
We're not really into the true in-season schedule, you know, because we're still in training camp. So we'll have training camp. We'll break training camp after this game. So we do have some extra time. One of the things we'll look for is, you know, are we going to, like, put everything we have? There's still some things that we want to see from some players. There's still some decisions to be made, so we'll look at that. You know, basically what we're trying to get them to do is just, hey, here's the game plan, and actually we'll try to, you know, hone it down, you know, from what we've had in the past couple of preseason games, and just see how they practice and create that tempo, you know, during the week. And, you know, obviously this will be the first time we have cards, our scout team, you know, trying to make sure that we do a good job. My point of emphasis with the coaches was we have to do a good job with that because we got to set that expectation right now, you know, that can remain throughout the season. If you don't do a good job on those teams, I really think it hurts you in your preparation, you know, when you're playing.
How do you feel about your overall wide receiver group?
I feel good.
Like as far as like roles or
I feel good. A lot of versatility in those guys. I mean, they play a lot of those guys play all different positions. So I think, you know, eventually I think that obviously helps us.
two more guys.
Leonard and TJ on the field at the same time, or two of those backs on the field at the same time, what does that open up for you guys on offense?
I don't know. That's a good question for a defensive coordinator. You know, we're just trying to put our best players on the field and put them in, you know, put our team in best position.
Did you like what you saw when those two were on the field against the
I
Vikings?
remember the play. It was a screen, right? What? How many yards did we gain?
11.
Yeah, I like that play. Yeah. If it was -1, I'd be like, no, I don't like it.
Broadcast said this is the best. You said that this was the best you've seen Yeldon in all your time here.
Yes.
Why? What do you think he's done to take that?
I don't know. You got to ask him, like what he's done.
Oh, wow.
You know, I've seen him. I mean, he's always been good. I think he's more explosive. He's stronger. You know, elusive. I think, you know, he can carry a load. You know, carries. I just think he's done a nice job. I really do.
There's sort of the outside perception that maybe
Go ahead. Outside perception.
that if Leonard were to go down, you wouldn't have somebody in house right now who could.
Who said that? Did you say that?
I've said it.
Who's the outs? You said
I've
that?
questioned. I've wondered at times if
Yeah,
Yeldon
I don't.
could carry the load. You don't have any of those concerns?
No, I don't. Why did you say outside perspective? You should have said, Coach, I think that you don't have anyone. I really believe.
Well, it's usually.
Huh?
I think there are people.